The Eagles are the only undefeated team in the NFL, sitting at 4-0 to begin the 2022 season. First time they're at that mark, going all the way back to the 2004 season, 18 years ago. Really historic proportions for the Birds, and what I love about this team, each win, they've won in a different way. We're going to talk about that, latest injury news coming up, but first, if you're pumped up about the Birds, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. How do you not love what you've been seeing from this football team? So everybody should smash that thumbs up icon. It's a Victory Monday here on Eagles Now by Chat Sports, and it's all presented by True Classic Tees. 25% off your order if you use the promo code CHAT at trueclassictees.com/chat. We'll tell you more about them coming up here around the corner. First, though, a lot of important Eagles injury news to get to after the rain game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of those memorable games at Lincoln Financial Field that makes you think of the Snow Bowl back against the Detroit Lions and some of those bad weather games over the years. But it did come with a little bit of a cost. Jordan Mailata went down on that pick six, underwent an MRI this morning on his shoulder, and Andre Dillard currently is on IR, should be back soon. So if Jordan Mailata can't go against the Arizona Cardinals, it won't be Andre Dillard, but Andre Dillard, if it's an extended injury, could come in and replace him at some point as he continues to come back from that broken arm. The Eagles did make a move. They signed offensive lineman Tyrese Robinson, used to go to Oklahoma, undrafted free agent. They elevated him off the practice squad. Going to the defensive side of the ball with another important playmaker, Darius Slay. He's been one of the best cornerbacks across the National Football League so far this year. He injured his forearm. There is a chance he plays against Arizona, though. As for Avonte Maddox, who missed the game because of that sprained ankle, everybody wants to talk about how Josiah Scott got beat a couple of times by Christian Kirk. He did have some pass breakups and made some good plays, so he did fill in there, but Avonte Maddox could miss his second game. And as for the kicker, Jake Elliott, kickers are people too. We need you, Jake. We need you to be healthy. Suffered an apparent leg injury. Last year, he was a Pro Bowler, 90% on his field goal attempts, including 3 of 3 from 50-plus yards. I think he's right up there with Justin Tucker as one of the best kickers in the National Football League. The good news with all of these players, Nick Sirianni saying just moments ago during his press conference on Monday as they get ready for the Arizona Cardinals in Week 5, that all of those aforementioned players do have a chance to play on Sunday. Now, of course, the Eagles could sign a kicker in case. Won't be surprised at all if they bring in a kicker to the practice squad just in case Jake Elliott can't go. Then they'll elevate that respective kicker if they make that acquisition onto the 53-man roster for game day against Arizona. We'll see what happens with Jake. Here is a good spot for the Eagles, right? When you go 4-0 and you have depth, you don't need to rush some of your injured players back into action. And when you built this football team the way that Howie Roseman has been able to construct this roster, you have guys who can fill in and help fill the void like we've seen really all throughout the year. Eagles have stayed relatively healthy. They've suffered some injuries, though, and their backups, like the offensive line yesterday, all of those guys have been really, really good. You can afford to do that when you have depth and you get off to a really good start. And I actually thought the backups against the Jags were good. Like Sua Opeta played really good at left guard, paved the way for, I believe, that Kenneth Gainwell touchdown. Josiah Scott was solid. And once Jordan Mailata went out, that offensive line was able to shuffle the deck just a little bit, but still played very, very well with Jack Driscoll out there. Now, during that Jags game, we did do a watch party here on Philadelphia Eagles. Now, just want to appreciate and say thanks to everybody who tuned in. 40,000 views throughout the afternoon, 525 new subscribers. Really appreciate all the support. If you want Eagles news, rumors, and analysis every single day with live shows and watch parties where we party hard on game day, then teach you about this football team, lock us in and hit that red subscribe button down below. Coming up next on the show, we're really only getting started. A lot of performances to marvel at and a lot of really fascinating numbers that we have to take a glance at with this team off to that 4-0 start, best record in the National Football League. That's coming up right around the corner. First, though, Philadelphia Eagles Now is presented by True Classic Tees. 25% off using the promo code CHAT. What I love about True Classic Tees, you can get this t-shirt pack here. Their golf polos are phenomenal with really good athletic material. They have athletic wear. And with football season here, baby, and our new sponsor, True Classic Tees, they want you to look good and feel your best even after a couple of brewskis on a football Sunday or going full force on your fantasy football draft. Sure, it is football season, but it's also butt-to-couch season. Kind of like what I do here on Philadelphia Eagles now, although I do have to stand. Luckily, though, True Classic has the absolute best fitting clothing a man can buy. Snug in the arms and chest with a little extra space in the torso. Their shirts designed to keep you cozy and highlight your best assets. If you use the promo code CHAT at trueclassictees.com/chat, you get 25% off your order site-wide. They sell pants, they sell shirts, regular polos, athletic wear. We'll get you hooked up so that you can be looking good. What I like about this win as we continue to recap this victory over Jacksonville. In every game this year, week 1 against the Lions, week 2 against the Vikings, week 3 against the Commanders, and this past week against Jacksonville, the Eagles are winning in multiple ways, and that's what good teams do. That's the sign of an elite team, folks. You win in kind of a shootout that you had control over in week 1 against the Lions. Week 2, offense great in that second quarter. Defense carried the load in that second half. Week 3 against the Commanders, you sacked Carson Wentz 9 times, had a 24-point explosion in that second quarter. And then in this game, it started off rocky. It started off a little choppy. The Eagles did have to face some adversity. But what did championship caliber teams do? What did that 27 team do? When they faced adversity, they responded with character, really good play, and this calm demeanor. That's all a nod to head coach Nick Sirianni, who has preached one play at a time. Number 1 rush defense, my ass, for Jacksonville. Yeah, the Eagles ran all over Jacksonville as we're about to break down. The pass rush was great again. All of these elements with good quarterback play and great quarterback play from Jalen Hurts, good ground game, really an all-around effort. Those are what good teams do. And my take here, big-time players for the Eagles, in addition to those depth pieces, are making big-time plays. And the Eagles have a lot of big-time players, and some of them have been balling out to start the year. The last 2 games, Haason Reddick has been one of them. 3.5 combined sacks against Washington and against the Jags as he was just harassing Carson Wentz and Trevor Lawrence in consecutive weeks. 3 quarterback hits. He's been a turnover machine, forcing 3 fumbles, and he's recovered 2 of them. And I said this at the time. Yeah, I didn't take over the channel at that moment, but I did talk about the Haason Reddick signing when it did happen on Eagles Now during the craziness of free agency. The average of $15 million per year for Haason Reddick, who has been a top-end edge rusher the last couple of years, and that's what he's been, arguably the best the last 2 weeks. How we do that continues to make really financially smart and savvy moves. Haason Reddick, Philly's own, Camden's own, just a legendary performance the last couple of weeks. And then for Miles Sanders, look, there's been a lot of shade toward Miles Sanders in the comment section here on Eagles Now. Some people have said, including my homie Lion Fighter X, Chase, I don't understand why you always stand up for him. Because yesterday you saw the ability. And throughout his career, we have seen the ability of Miles Sanders. And yesterday I thought arguably his best game as a pro. He may have had bigger, flashier runs and better big-time performances, but considering the weather, considering the sloppy conditions, I'm not going to go shady against the Detroit Lions, but it was certainly up there given the weather conditions at play. 27 totes, 134, 2 tutties, and 5 yards per carry. Yes, the offensive line did their work, but Miles Sanders was decisive and made some really athletic and explosive plays. Most importantly, though, in the slick conditions, did not cough up the pill. Because Miles Sanders was so impressive, if you want to give him some props, even if you don't really like him and you want a running back upgrade after the year like a Josh Jacobs, hey, show the man some love. He was balling out yesterday. Type booby in the comment section. Have some fun with that one. More chat stats to get to. The Eagles' 10 rushing touchdowns this year, most in 74 years for this franchise in the first 4 games of a season. And a big reason why they've been so dominant on the ground, the play of Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce, folks, is a god. For his Super Bowl speech, no one likes us, we don't care, him rocking the Mummers gear, to him being the best center in the NFL for a long time, and at the end of the day, a future Hall of Famer. But his play, even at his age and level of experience, has been fantastic. Hasn't allowed a single quarterback hit since week 6 of last year. That's 979 snaps. And one of his offensive line mates, g'day mate, to all of our Aussie viewers, how is Lane Johnson still underrated? I put out that post on our community tab back a couple of weeks ago about just how good Lane Johnson has been. Well, he pitched another shutout against number 1 overall pick Trayvon Walker out of Georgia, and he continues to be dominant. Let me pull up the numbers that I posted on our community tab about Lane Johnson somewhat recently about just how good he's been. Hasn't given up a sack since week 11 of 2020. Hasn't surrendered a quarterback hit since week 7 of last year. That's built different. That right there, folks. Choo-choo! The Lane train. Eagles offense by week. Historic proportions here as they continue to put up straight up digits. Week 1, 455 yards total, and they remain the number 1 overall offense in the NFL. Week 2, 46 against Minnesota. Week 3, 400, and week 4, even though it was raining, the remnants of Hurricane Ian, 401 yards of total offense. Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, they have this football team humming going into Arizona week. Type 1 as many times as you can in the comment section if you think the Philadelphia Eagles are the number 1 team in the National Football League. Bang, bang, bang. I'm hitting that 1 on the keyboard. I want to see who shows up, who shows out in the comment section, who made it this far, and how many times you can type 1. Appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles. Man, what a season it's been for Philly. Let's keep it moving.